And now, an in-depth analysis to the history of Stuart Little 2 on the PlayStation. Once upon a time, there was a lovely little movie called Stuart Little that was, okay, I guess. And because of that overwhelming response, they made a sequel which was, yeah, it was better. But the rest of the world didn't think so, because it only made like half the money that the first film did, meaning that the third film was straight to DVD, and yeah, it was shit. But why am I even talking about that? I mean, fuck, I have to go back to Stuart Little 2, which, yes, didn't do as well as the original, so they decided to make a PS1 game about it. It makes sense to me. Why'd they do that? What's the reason? Well, I'll tell you what it was. Because one day the Queen of England saw the movie and was like,
yes, this tickles my giddies.
And then went all the way to Magenta Software before they made fucking Buzz Junior Jungle Party and said,
I want to play this shit on my PlayStation, you hear, and please make a box of noodles sound like this when you push them.
And then the game happened. The end. And here's a video about it. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. Oh god, you know something? Who remembers all of those months ago in my Crash Team Racing video when I said, I'm scripting the video for Stuart Little 2? Well, it was kind of a joke, and everyone in the audience should have gone. But you didn't. You actually wanted me to talk about it, so all I can say is I'm sorry it took so long to get to this point, but you know. Oh wow, this video was a long time coming, but here we go. Stuart Little 2 on PS1. If you haven't seen the Stuart Little movies before, you aren't missing too much, honestly. They're enjoyable family movies based on a book character that's a mouse living in an ordinary suburban family. The sequel especially, I think, is really good, and it's got an all-star cast from the likes of Michael J. Fox as Stuart, James Woods as a fucking falcon, Hugh Laurie, Gina Davis, and even Jonathan Licknipple. And this was before he looked like this. Childhood tainted. Like the beginning of this video made a little too obvious, I have no idea why this game exists, who asked for it, and which people thought the companies could squeeze money out of when the second movie did only half as well as the first one. But here it is, and it's alright, actually. It's a 3D platformer very similar to the likes of Mario 64 for its open-ended and explorative level design, collectathon gameplay, and completing certain objectives in order to receive this game's equivalent of stars, jeweled rings. And if you look at this purely as an entry-level Stuart Little kids game about collectathon platformers, it's actually not half bad. I know what you're thinking though, why are we grabbing rings though? Because the evil pre-mentioned Falcon is obsessed with jewels and forced a bird friend of Stuart's, Margalo, to help him steal many of them around town.
The evil Falcon's been forcing me to steal jewelry for him from the people of New York. I want to stop, but I need your help.
Really? That's what they all say. Also, I'm calling bullshit. Stuart definitely would have died just then. He'd be red ooze on the carpet by that point. Speaking of, if Stuart Little was to ever break a leg, would he go to the hospital or the vets? Think about it. So Stuart reads Margalo's note over asking for his help, thinks about it for a bit, like, I don't know, and then goes ahead and decides, fuck it, it's my day off, I'm going to bed. Okay, but this already makes no sense at all. If we're collecting all of these rings around the house, does that mean that Falcon actually hasn't stolen these ones yet? Or did he drop them? Or does he like being Charles Manson and just move things around the house while people are gone without taking anything? I don't know my enemy and I don't like it. While we're on the subject, look here, why can't the Little family help me out here? They could reach on the top of that clock easily, and my god, Margalo has the tits to tell me that I need a key for these chests when she can fly. She can easily grab the key herself while I'm buggering around with skateboarding on a boat full of discarded nappies.
Congratulations, Stuart. You've completed the course, so you've been awarded a jeweled ring.
Ooh, okay, wow, so now you're rewarding me with a ring. You were keeping that to yourself until your precious little monkey went around on a train track picking up fucking stars for your torturous enjoyment to then decide whether or not I deserve the ring. I thought you wanted them back. I can't trust you. I can't trust anyone.
I'm fed up with this world.
Okay, I'm overanalyzing. It's Stuart Little. Let's just enjoy it. Okay, so it's one of those games that forces you into an unskippable tutorial right at the very start, and immediately Margalo is chowing down on my face. Lovely.
If you press the jump button during the first jump, you will jump again while in midair.
Yes, I'm trying, Margalo.
Try this to jump over the
I'm
next
trying.
step
I'm
in front of
trying.
you.
I'm trying my heart. Oh my god, why won't you? Jump over! Come on, man! Oh. There we go. Yeah, the controls and abilities in this game are locked out until you listen to every single word that Margalo says about that particular ability, and you can't skip it. Not in the mood. Oh my god, this is phallic. I'm still playing a kid's game, right? And climbing just looks, oh my god, it looks simply wrong.
If you stand on top of the tree trunk, I'll show you how to throw more accurately.
More accurate, you bitch. Look, I don't even need to aim. Shut your pie hole, beak face. I know what I'm doing. I've reached the top, Margalo! Ah! Calm down! Oh, jeez, calm down, Stuart. It's not that amazing. Crazy Ah, this is game design. I'm trying to activate the next tutorial, but the text is scrolling slower than her speaking speed, so she finishes her last point, but I can't continue until the unskippable text box stops moving. And we finish off with a lovely bit of advice from our favorite residential beak face.
Good things sure do come in small packages.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Okay, I will admit that tutorial was a little painful, but hey, I know exactly what I'm doing now, so time to pick a stage and explore, and no more random tutorials pop up from here on out. You can just enjoy the game for what it is now. Fantastic. And there is a lot to enjoy here. Like I said, it's a collectathon platformer like Mario 64. Each stage has 6 rings to find. You need any 30 rings in any order in any of the stages to reach the end, giving you total control like Mario 64. And they all have many ways of getting them, whether it be finding a special hiding place for it, collecting 60 out of 80 cat biscuits and going to a cat bowl to deposit them, completing 2 random mini-games in each stage, opening a golden chest with a hidden golden key, or finding 6 Stuart face blocks with dead, soulless, piercing eyes that then form a secret path to another ring. It relies heavily on exploration with its challenges and the ways that you traverse the stage through switches to other places, and the levels aren't too big, making none of the missions feel linear, tedious, or boring, which I suppose is good for a 4-inch tall mouse. You can't have it too big. And the controls are really good, maybe a little bit solid and less free-flowing than Crash Bandicoot or Mario, but it works, and it works well. Stuart can run around freely, double jump, climb around the levels, monkey swing, sprint whenever he wants to, and throw items or tailspin to deal with enemies, with some enemies only being attackable with each corresponding attack. It's solid groundwork here. If anything, I guess sometimes it's a little too simplistic. The missions don't really spice up in any of the stages, and it feels a little repetitive on occasion, especially with the voice acting that cycles through the same exact lines every time you do anything.
Excellent hunting, Stuart. You have found a face block.
Yes, I did it! I've collected enough cat biscuits for someone to drink your body for another ring. Yes!
And there's nothing new or imaginative here whatsoever to really sink yourself into. It's a very safe game. It takes no risks and it does the basics. Very well though, it's not a bad thing. It's just definitely made more with kids in mind, which is very easy to fuck up by being too patronizing and pandering, looking at you 3-1 Smurf. So you gotta give credit where credit is due, and this game does have its moments of not only decent level design, but also difficulty.
Yeah!
Woo! What's so exciting, Mouse?
I found the golden key! Now all I have to do is take the key to the golden suitcase. What an adventure this is turning out to be.
Stuart, are you ill? As you go on, the platforming and level design gets a little bit more treacherous and hard to stomach. You find less and less health the further you get, the enemies get more aggressive and force you to be more careful overall as a result, and even the mini-games get trickier with shorter time limits and crazier shit to do. Ah yes, the mini-games. This game has them. Not too often, mind, but they're still rather meh when they happen. They're all pretty easy to be fair, but that still doesn't mean I can't complain about them. The vehicle stages, for instance, aren't great. All of them are stuck on a predetermined path, and apart from the plane, the controls are garbage. The boat stage bounces all over the damn place and steers 90 degrees if you hold down the button too long, and what is this? You call this visuals? It looks like we glitched and clipped underneath the fucking game. And the car, oh wow, it sucks. It's easy again, and you can't crash, but the controls are just the same, jagged and heavy, and it's not fun to do. At least, like I said, the plane's good, and the skateboard is okay, but someone please explain these fucking skateboarding physics. Oh, I don't know why, but that kind of makes me feel sick and makes me laugh at the same time. The other mini games involve cursor shooting, where you have to protect yourself from enemies that deduct your points and hit every other target on the screen before the time runs out, and the other involves racing an insect through goalposts. And I have to admit, firstly, I actually really appreciate a sprint button in a 3D platformer. We need more things like this in these kinds of games. I used it all the time, and these races are actually pretty damn tricky. I always struggled with these as a kid because you have to be perfect with where you run, where you jump since it slows you down, figuring out shortcuts at the best times, and every time I even tried today, I only just win by an inch. Nice bit of feeling that I truly earned a ring there, like it. I also felt like I earned a ring by totally fucking climbing the sliding rail backwards. Up top, I'm a fucking boss. And don't get me started on throwing things at this crow, it never fails to make me laugh. The music though is surprisingly good, very jazzy, upbeat, catchy, and well played, especially love the challenge theme. And visually, the game's not outstanding, but it looks appealing enough and gets to the point lovely and nicely. It's also very sweet and charming to see budget cuts like this. Why not just animate the CD tray going into the player? Why the graphical squeezing? Stuff like this for older games I find adorable. It might have been a missight, but it does show you how far we've come. But, well. Look, he goes down in a raincoat and now he's changed attire. Wow, who even are you, magic man? Oh god, wait. Stuart Little is a little mouse. Okay, Little Mouse, Mickey Blaine, David Blaine. Oh, holy shit, mind blown, juice everywhere. And since this game was released only a small time after the movie came out, you of course collect many movie clips in the game, and there are lots here. It's pretty much like owning a best of scenes DVD. It's pretty amazing for the time, honestly. You get one at the start and end of each stage, and you get to find a hidden one in each stage, which also has the most amazing noise when you find it. You just better hope you loved Stuart Little back in the day, though, like me. Seriously, I fucking loved these movies as a kid, because 100% completion just awards you with more movie clips. A fantastic reward for me and others that loved the movie and couldn't own it on VHS or DVD at that point, but if that means nothing to you, then you get bragging rights on Stuart Little 2?
I have to start wearing a cup.
Oh, thanks, game. Thank you. That's lovely. That's just wonderful. Now I've got to carry on with an image stuck in my head of Stuart Little's Little Stuart. It's also lovely how the clips all coincide with the stages. They all thematically fit and make sense with what you're doing in the game. It's little things like that and the solid foundation nature of the game overall that gives you the impression that actual thought, effort, and heart went into making this amongst other movie tie-in games, and for that, I can applaud it. Another thing I love is how in the sewer stage, whenever Stuart falls into the sewer water, Margalo constantly comes down to rescue him and is always like, oh, for fuck's sake, just stop. And so you get all the rings, make your way to the end of the game, and Falcon is waiting for you. Okay, well, he was mentioned like at the beginning of the game and never built up again, and he's the only boss in the game, so he's honestly not even slightly a threat, but it's nice to see how the gameplay changes up a little bit here. Using risk and reward, you can now freely move your plane around the stage, and you have to decide if you can risk losing health for grabbing the reward of battery power to charge up and ram into the back of Falcon. Not too difficult, but yes, a little bit challenging, a nice change of pace, and nice mechanics for a boss set in a plane that doesn't have any guns involved. It's pretty unique, honestly. You're trying to grind his ass into the plane blades. I mean, what could be better than that? Oh, I don't know. How about exploding flowers? Whoa. Okay, I can totally accept that Stuart is a walking, talking mouse that wears jeans, and that no one in the Little family questions the fact that Margalo can actually talk, despite it being made clear in the first movie that Stuart's talking animal case was quite odd, and that Snowbell only talks to other animals and not humans, implying that they can't be heard by humans, so technically the only creature that can be heard is Stuart. But despite that, I've got to say, I can't suspend my disbelief on this. Exploding flowers is far too far-fetched for me. And that's a funny joke, because Falcon's a bird, Margalo's a bird, and Farfetch'd is a fucking Pokemon bird. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here all the way. So overall, this game gets salvaged. Oh, it's lovely. Haven't done that for a while. It's not an incredible game or even a very, very good game in any sense of the word, and it's very safe in its execution, but if you look at it like this, Stuart Little was more a kid-sided family movie series as it was anyway, so if you look at the game like that, and its intended demographic, young children, it does its job really damn well. This is how you introduce the inexperienced or poorly skilled kids into the world of 3D collectathon platformers. Not pandering, not really any hand-holding, not too long, not too hard, but with just the right balance of difficulty and reward that makes you want to keep going, explore more, and just enjoy the levels. Held up surprisingly well. I liked it. The game didn't really go to heaven, the illusion is fucking gone! Hi everyone, and thanks so much for watching this video, but before I go, I'd like to thank GamesGrabber for sponsoring today's episode, where if you head to the first lines of the description, not only can you browse through and directly buy any of my video equipment I use and new games that I'm playing right now on my shelves, but they also have a competition on the site right now, where the 5 people who get the most friends to sign up via their own unique URL before midnight GMT on March 31st can win their choice of any of the following games on the platform of their choice, and Street Fighter V, Twilight Princess HD, Far Cry Primal, Mighty No. 9, The Division, or Dark Souls 3 are all up for grabs. I've got my eye on Dark Souls 3 and Twilight Princess myself. Terms and conditions are below. It's a huge competition. I'll announce the winner on social media once they are revealed. Good luck, and thank you for listening, everybody.